we're not getting like the hottest guys generally. I don't know. And I don't know if that's because they are too intimidating, maybe. Like they're too intimidating for the average person. And so they're just like not getting the FaceTime they deserve.
We deserve hot guys.
Yeah.
Say it with me.
I want to dance to me, Justin.
And I operate the unlicensed Harry Potter mail order spousal service, Green Cardia Mariosa, Geoff.
That's a joke.
It's a real business. Welcome to BANTS.
And we are joined today by our first ever guest. Gillie, aka Gilbo Baggins, is joining us all the way from the West Coast. Gillie, what's up?
Woo!
Hey y'all, Editor Justin here. Unfortunately, when recording this episode with Gillie, she had some technical difficulties at the beginning of our session, so we lost a few minutes of conversation, including her saying hello to you, listener dear. But thankfully, our entire conversation about Brat is intact, as well as our what's goods and plenty of other bants. But just to give a quick intro for Gillie, she's one of my close friends from grad school. I would describe her as a Charli historian. She has excellent taste in music. She's like a huge indie head, loves to kind of scour the internet for the new hotness. And Geoff and I were so happy to have her on the pod. She really added a ton to the conversation. Her music taste is way cooler than ours, and she never fails to have great insights in conversations like these. So with that out of the way, we're going to dive straight into one of our hot topics, which is Taylor Swift staying on top of the UK charts by releasing new versions of her album. So sorry for the interruption. Sorry the flow isn't quite there this week, but I think the conversation will make up for it. So enjoy.
Okay, so where were we? What were we talking about when we broke off?
We were talking about the Billie Eilish album and how Taylor Swift released a new variant of the Tortured Poets Apartment the same week that Billie's album came out.
Yeah. I also love that we're calling the new editions of her album a variant.
Oh. Well, what is there another term? I mean, I guess I didn't do enough research on this to be like, this is the proper terminology, but
I don't know what it is either. I just think it's funny to call it a variant because it reminds me of COVID.
Yeah.
They are like COVID variants. It's like you don't really know what's next, and like, but you know it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's just like different colored vinyl, and then other times it's like, oh, this is a version of the album with like a bonus track, like so it differs.
Special edition.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't buy it anyways, but
right. I mean, people are speculating she's doing this so that she can be at the top of the charts. And I think specifically people want her to try to beat or people are theorizing that her team. Yeah, so when I say Taylor Swift, I'm saying that like all caps her mogul empire, whatever you want to call it, not necessarily her, the individual person, but people are theorizing that her camp like wants her to break the record for most weeks at #1 album on the UK charts.
Okay, and that record is held by the Beatles, is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So her thing is like, let's be bigger than the Beatles.
That's what people are theorizing.
Yeah.
That's what her team's mindset is like, let's get her to break that record because it'll be a huge newsworthy thing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm like, you don't have to break every record. She's already like accomplished everything you could possibly want from a successful career.
Yeah. So okay, so when the Billie thing happened, you know, it felt like a little personal, but also, you know, it could just be another kind of money grab. But then, so the Billie thing, like the variants were announced before Billie's album came out. Mm-hmm. So that felt, they're anticipating that Billie will have this huge album. But when Brat came out, it was out for a few days and it just like rocketed to the top of the UK charts and it was #1. And then a few hours before that like week's counts were going to be put in, Taylor released a UK only variant that was only available for a few hours. And it was like, you have to get it right now. And that, you know, is what dropped Brat to the #2 spot on the UK charts. And that feels very deliberate and like, you know, like they were watching the charts and they didn't like what they saw. And so they did something about it. Like that feels very, you know, intentional and targeted. Whereas the Billie thing, it felt targeted, but, you know, a one-off thing to me is less egregious than like repeated kind of targeting of other female artists. I don't know. I think it's very messed up.
Yeah, so I think I have two major thoughts about this. The first one is just that, like, what we're talking about here is basically very cheap, low-hanging fruit. Like, she's got this fan base that are super obsessed with her. Every time that she puts out any new vinyl, there's gonna be like those whales that are gonna drop $20 or $30 to get the new edition, no matter what, right? And she's abusing that to basically make sure that she stays on top of the charts instead of like what I think most people would consider like organic album buys or listens, right? So that's like one side of things that I don't really like. And I think in this article on Forbes that I put in the episode description, and I'll put it in the show notes, there's mention of Billie Eilish having a problem with Taylor releasing so many vinyls because it's like not sustainable, I guess. Like, I guess Billie's done a lot of work to make sure that her merch and her physical releases of her music are like very sustainable. So Billie's made a comment that seemed to be targeted towards Taylor about that as well. So that's another side of things that's like, you know, it's kind of wasteful, right? It's just trying to get people to consume more like of this kind of worthless. The album, buying media is great. I love buying physical media, but when you have like 4 or 5 editions of the same album, it starts to become wasteful, I think, you know?
Yeah. So did you think originally it was kind of like a tit for tat beef where it was like, Billie said this, so Taylor did that, and that's kind of the end of it?
Well, Billie made the comment after this drama happened. So it wasn't like Billie said this and then Taylor, dropped the special edition. It was more, it was interpreted by the press. Again, we don't know what Billie actually thinks. Billie didn't name Taylor. She just said like some of the biggest artists in the world are releasing like 10 different variants of the vinyl. And then Phineas kind of stepped in and he was like, yeah, but that's kind of like the way that you play the game, right? This is how you top the charts, is you release a bunch of different variants. So it seems like she wasn't specifically calling out. She has plausible deniability, right? Although it seems like she was talking about Taylor. So that's just one thing where it's like Taylor's just getting richer by doing this. My second thought is that there is a little bit of bad blood between Charli and Taylor that has to do with Matt Healy. So everybody knows, I think, at this point, that most of the Tortured Poets department is about Matt Healy, who is the lead singer of the band The 1975, who him and Taylor, to put it mildly, seem to have like a very toxic romantic relationship, and that's a lot of the focus of the album. Charli is currently engaged to the drummer of the 1975 and has collaborated with him on some of the albums, the songs on Brat, George Daniel, and seemingly through Charli, Matt Healy has met his now fiance, who is a personal friend of Charli's. So I think that this is just a general Taylor wants to be making a lot of money and topping the charts thing. Like, I don't know that it's targeted, but there is like a more personal side of the potential blocking of Charli topping the charts than with Billie, you know? So I would buy that this is a personal thing more with Charli than I would about any of the other artists that she might have blocked.
I like some of Taylor Swift's music. She's definitely like not my favorite artist. I think that a lot of what she's put out has been lackluster and cloying and juvenile, but this is the thing about Taylor Swift that I really don't like, is that she does shit that is so fucking petty and so high school, and it drives me crazy because I'm like, she might be I think she's like a good performer. I think that she definitely has some kind of interesting sway over her fans. Her fan base is like feral. So, you know, I can give her credit for that and for the team behind her that helps her with her marketing. Like, it really, they're good at what they do. I'm saying, like, I'll give Taylor Swift credit where it's due, but like doing this kind of shit, this attention-seeky, pick-me kind of bullshit I'm so fucking over it. And I'm sorry, Tortured Poets Department is not a good enough album to release it multiple times. You did it once with fucking like 37 songs and none of them were great. So take a seat, take the L. You know, you're not topping the charts because it's good. You're topping the charts because your fans are so fucking crazily devoted to you. So like, if you're going to break a record, you're going to break a record. But is it done on merit or is it done on brainwashing?
I think one interesting thing for me is, you know, Taylor has this image as the like good girl, the nice girl, but also the victim. And I think she's always, in all of her songs, and we can talk about this later when we go into, you know, how Charli frames herself in her relationships. But Taylor is always the victim, or she's like, hee, I'm so bad, but like still the nice girl. And I think in real life, Taylor, not a victim. Yeah, she's definitely not the victim. She's
I mean, she's
the
like
mean girl.
one of the most powerful women in the world. Like she's one of the richest women in the world. And if I can say something positive about Taylor Swift, this is why I liked Midnights, like the album that came out prior to the Tortured Poets Department, is because she started actually in interrogating her own like behaviors and patterns in her relationships, right? Like Antihero was a song about how she's like, wait, am I actually the reason why all of my relationships fail? Having some self-doubt, right? Instead of just kind of being like, this horrible thing happened to me, here's how it happened, right? Which is what a lot of her past stuff was. So I actually really liked Midnights, and I was excited for the Tortured Poets Department, and then ended up being a little bit disappointed when it ended up being more just kind of like...
A little bit?
Pretty disappointed when it ended up being a little bit lackluster.
This album's boo-boo garbage. Take it out to the street. Put it on the curb. It's gone. Done. Goodbye. You tried, you failed.
I mean, did she even try? Like, that's the thing.
Good, yes.
Like, I think when Taylor tries, she can put out really fun, exciting music. And this doesn't feel like that. This feels like her 1 a.m. voice note, memo, whatever, thoughts that were then recorded and released. And, like, that's it. And also the fact that there are so many of them. Like, again, I'm always going back to Charli, but, like, Charli has, like, a treasure trove of unreleased music that keeps getting leaked. Right. And it's like really good music that like people want to see. And I don't know, it feels like Taylor just puts it all out there because, you know, you add another song, you get another variant.
Yeah, you get another play. Yeah.
Like everything adds to her, you know, prestige,
her pile of
I
gold.
guess.
Yeah.
The pile of gold. And it's not, you know, it's not curated. You know, she doesn't make it an experience. It's just about the money.
Yeah, it's just like throwing everything onto the wall, seeing what sticks. And she's like, cool, put it out. People are going to buy it. They love me. I think curation is key. And I think that the best artists or the best albums so far this year that have been put out have been highly curated. Tortured Poets was very first thought, like you said. It's like very like voice notes. Like they all sound the same. They literally, sometimes the songs sound the same. I'm just like, we don't need any more of this. That plus her... Like you said, Justin, like her air of like constant victimhood, it just is like quite feminist mindset that is deeply problematic. And I mean, she's like the poster child for it.
Yeah, well, before we get doxxed by the Swifties.
Comfort me. I don't have anything good in my life anyway. What you gonna do?
Started at the bottom and we're still here.
And still here, bitch.
Well, are we talking about rodent boyfriends or has that been cut?
We could talk about it right now, and if it's really good, we could use it as like a teaser or something, though. Because I want to know what your thoughts are about rodent boyfriends.
Yeah, well, so I saw Challengers. I had mixed opinions, but I didn't know anything about the two leads going in. And I was sitting there. Well, first of all, they're quite young compared to me. And I don't know, you know, like my tastes have matured as I have. And I was sitting there like, ooh, like these are like sweaty children. Like
Wait, you didn't think either of them was attractive?
Wait, how old are they? I thought that they were our age.
Well, okay, but they're like playing younger. I
see what you mean.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
they are playing younger. Yeah.
Like to me, I was like, these look like these are like sweaty high school, college boys.
Josh O'Connor's 34.
Oh wow. Okay, so I take it back.
But I see what you mean. Playing younger, like.
And they did it well. 32. I also think it has to do with the period nature of those early scenes. Like Guadagnino did a really good job of like absolutely nailing the aesthetic of like the 90s and the 2000s.
The early 2000s.
The early 2000s.
Yeah, I was like, I have been to, you know, like a bat mitzvah that looks like this party. You know, like
yes.
like when I was 12 years old. So I don't know, like yeah. So anyways, I didn't know anything about them. I went in. I was like, I personally don't find them very attractive. Like I see what other people find in them, but now that we're talking about, you know, this like rodent aesthetic, yeah, like I get it.
Geoff, one of our mutual friends, Ben, has this kind of like theory of attractiveness that he calls
he does
ugly hot or hot ugly. So Gillie, just to initiate you, ugly hot is somebody who is like not conventionally attractive, but in like the culture is considered attractive. So this is the classic example is like Pete Davidson.
Yeah, or like Adam Driver. I feel like he was like
Adam Driver.
Yeah,
like when Girls came
example.
out, I was like, he's the hottest guy I've ever seen. But like,
but why? You have to like
why?
ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Yeah, That's ugly hot. And then there's
Yeah.
hot ugly, which is a type of guy who is like conventionally attractive, but like nobody finds that hot. Like Channing Tatum is the classic example, I think.
Which I still dispute strongly.
What I'm saying about the rat boyfriend phenomenon is that I think it's kind of just a subcategory of ugly hot. People like when somebody is like interesting looking, like they're not conventionally attractive, but they have this charisma, this magnetism that makes them attractive in some way, right? That's more interesting than just like a George Clooney or somebody who's just like insanely hot, right?
Yeah. So I read a take that it's also like they are less threatening and more like kind of approachable looking. It's like you're not going to go up to like, you know, the Brad Pitt guy. I don't know why I'm using Brad Pitt. That's like a terrible example. But like, I don't know. Did you watch that movie with Anne Hathaway where she's like dating
Yes, I
like
did.
a pop star?
I did not.
I love that movie. I thought it was
Wait, I heard that was so bad.
Okay, no, I was watching it like, oh, I just like need to like turn my brain off. And then
Right.
Alex was around and he was like watching football or something. He like put the football away and came and watched with me because like we were so into this movie. Like I don't remember what it's called. It was really good, but
It's called The Idea of You,
the idea of you, okay.
starring Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine, who is the hottest man in the world.
Yes. I was like, this is the hottest guy I've seen in like years. Like, where have these like super hot guys been? Because I feel like we've been getting like the
he was in
Timothée
Bottoms. He
Chalamet.
was the quarterback. He was
Yes.
the quarterback in Bottoms.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he is just unbelievably hot. But I feel like we've been fed like these ugly hot guys. Like
Or hot ugly.
or hot ugly. Like we're not getting like the hottest guys generally. I don't know. And I don't know if that's because they are too intimidating, maybe. Like they're too intimidating for the average person. And so they're just like not getting the FaceTime they deserve.
We deserve hot guys.
Yeah.
Say it with me. No, yeah. I listened to the podcast Las Culturistas, and one of the co-hosts, Matt Rogers, said that he's convinced that Nicholas Galitzine is just AI. He's like, have you ever seen him in person? He's like, he's in everything, and he's just perfect looking and so hot and sexy in everything he does. He must be AI.
AI could never.
AI wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I would recommend that movie, Justin.
That's so interesting. I heard like some of my friends in DC said that it was like really bad.
Okay, well,
So
I'm not saying it's like not problematic. It's like not like the best movie ever made, but I think just like the leads are both so hot that like
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it's a very watchable movie because Nicholas Galitzine and Anne Hathaway are just like so fucking gorgeous, and watching them flirt is like, sexy.
Yeah. I can see that.
But yeah, it's not a good movie.
isn't it? It's like a fanfic of like the One Direction guy.
Harry Styles?
Yeah. It's so some woman like in her 40s, I think, wrote a fanfic about an older woman getting with Harry Styles.
Oh my god.
And then this is the movie based on that book.
Okay, so this is this generation's 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, which was famously a Twilight fanfic initially, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Okay.
Oh my god, horny fanfic is coming back, y'all. You heard it here
Yes.
first.
Okay.
Honestly, it never left. It never left. It's been around just like on the internet, you know?
But I feel like now fanfic is like has become so mainstream that like I don't know, like I don't know if you use Goodreads, Geoff, but Justin and I are both on Goodreads, and I see my friends, they'll say like I've read like all of this fanfic that's like out there, and I'm like, I don't know if I read that I would be advertising that. Like I don't want that as part of my personal brand. It's like Gillie likes this like super raunchy Harry Potter fanfic.
We have
Yeah.
a couple of mutual friends who do that.
Yep,
I won't
yep.
out them here. But I think you actually might have met
You've
both
met
of
them,
Gillie.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think fanfic is so fun. It's just become very mainstream and very like acceptable, I think, and which is great.
Yeah.
Like,
Be horny on Maine.
Normalize horniness. Yeah.
Bring back the fanfic and bring back sleaze.
But if my employer is listening, I have never had sex in my life. I've never been horny, for the record.
Same.
But let's take a break and then we'll come back talking about an album that we do really like, Brat.
Woo.
We'll be right back.
Be right back.
And we're back. And we're so excited to dive into the best album of the year.
Oh?
Brat.
Already, huh? Better than Cowboy Carter.
I think it could be.
Well, according to Metacritic, right?
Yes, according to Metacritic, it is objectively the best reviewed album so far this year. Yes. So before we get into the album, maybe we can each briefly talk about our personal history with Charli and our fandom. So, Gillie, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah. Okay, so I will say, obviously, like the rest of the universe, I heard Charli's early hits. She had a couple, like I Love It and Boom Clap or whatever. They never really resonated with me. And then in July 2017, Boys came out. I like music that I've never, that is novel. And like, if I've never heard something like it before, I'm immediately like, what is that? I must hear it. I must really dive into this. Mm-hmm. And like outside of like the vibe of that song, like I just broken up with a long-term boyfriend and kind of like reclaiming my life and my summer. And then Justin and I and a couple friends went on a road trip out of the city kind of shortly after that song came on. And I feel like we just played it on repeat in the car.
I played it a lot.
Yeah. And we were like singing and whatever. And I was just like, oh my God, this is like, best summer ever. And then Pop 2 came out right after that. And that really cemented my fandom. So I don't know. I thought Pop 2, I still think Pop 2 is like, it's an EP. No, it's a mixtape. But I think it's one of my like top albums of all time. And yeah, I've been kind of obsessed ever since. And then that really, Pop 2 opened me up to a lot of the, Charli collaborators like Sophie, A.G. Cook, and Caroline Polachek, and some of the others that have, made appearances on Charli's albums or are otherwise affiliated. So that's kind of how I got into Charli, definitely through Justin, which is pretty cool.
Wow, Justin, how does it feel to have somebody praise you for their introduction to pop culture from you?
It feels great. Gillie, I don't know if you are aware of this, but I think I'm usually the person getting shat on in my and Geoff's shared friend group, so it's nice to
For what? Like what did you do that deserves a shot?
It's just his general state of being, I would say.
Okay. I don't know, like no specifics. I'm kind of interested because like I feel like in our friend group, Justin is like the coolest one.
Okay. I think that you might need to expand your friend group circle then and meet some new people because I'm not so certain about that characterization of this individual. Justin is just, Justin has this pedantic quality in which he always has to be right, and he brags all the time about going to Columbia. It's exhausting to listen to. He's always talking about it. He's like, by the way, as somebody who's gone to Columbia University in the city of New York,
yeah.
And then that's how he introduces almost every topic that comes out of his mouth. It's really obnoxious. It's just gross. It changed him.
The listeners know that I always open up any conversation with that. So
Gillie's a listener. She's heard it herself.
I was just reminded of something. One of the first times that I hung out with Justin, like where it was like outside of Columbia, and we were like, oh, we're gonna like be friends outside of school. We went to see a movie. It was the Blade Runner movie, and they had Cheetos popcorn. It was like a special.
Oh my god!
thing.
Yes,
they had funny. Cheetos popcorn. I was sitting next to Justin. Like it was like early days of our friendship, and Justin eating Cheetos popcorn. He does the hand grab like the claw.
Everybody who knows how I eat, everybody knows.
He does the claw. Then the claw, turns up. Like some of it falls down. That's fine. Justin has a pretty large mouth, so it's like
the biggest mouth of anyone.
The entire claw just goes towards the mouth and just like everything goes in. And then it's Cheetos, right? So it's like you gotta take care of the residue. So then, I'm not joking. Justin licks his entire paw.
I already knew.
And I was like, am I gonna follow through with this? Like, are we gonna be friends? I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry that happened.
Gillie, I think you are getting this. I think you actually understand more than you think you do.
the claw.
Oh God, yeah.
Gotta keep the claw clean.
The popcorn eating has not changed. The actual problem, like what was going through my head at that point was that that's just how I usually eat popcorn. But I think that was my first time ever getting Cheetos popcorn. So like what happened was I was like, wait, now I have all this Cheeto dust on my hand. What am I supposed to do?
Like this claw's broken. It's like covered in Cheetos dust. You gotta lubricate it. Keep it clean.
Oh God. Yeah, so I guess I didn't realize that I was the one who introduced Gillie to Charli, which is it's very nice to hear. I had also known about Charli from like she also was on Fancy, the Iggy Azalea song. She sang the hook on that song. So she was in like a series of like mainstream pop hits. And then for me, she kind of fell off the radar until Boys. And when I heard that song, I was like, wow, this is like really cool pop music. Got really into it. That famously was a single off an unreleased album that was leaked. And then she decided to trash that whole album. So she didn't really...
World.
R.I.P.
Yes.
R.I.P.
So she ended up not even putting out that album, but I think it was kind of for the better because she ended up doing much weirder stuff after that. So like I remember kind of coming back to Charli during the Vroom Vroom EP era, where she started collaborating with the PC Music Crew, which was this record label that included Sophie, A.G. Cook, the same collaborators that Gillie was talking about. And people really didn't know what to make of that EP when it came out. Like it famously got a really bad score on a Pitchfork review because they were like, is she making fun of pop music? Like they didn't understand what it was doing because it was just so out there.
What is this and who is it for? And it's for all of us. It's for everyone.
Yeah. And now that's like, there's a whole subgenre that's like basically based off of imitating that style of music, hyperpop, right? Like she is the originator, I think, of that genre before it became like cringe to be hyperpop, I think. So I was aware of her during the Vroom Vroom EP era and then was a huge fan of How I'm Feeling Now, which was her COVID era album. Such a banger. I mean, that probably before Brat, no spoilers, but before Brat, that was my favorite Charli album, I would say.
I would agree.
So yeah, I've just been a fan. I mean, she makes pop music, but she makes pop music that is like abrasive and it has a punk energy to it that like in modern pop music is really hard to find. Like most pop stars are like, they've smoothed away all of their rough edges at this point. It's super ready for radio. It's super, like easy to consume. Charli is not that. So I've been a fan, especially since that COVID album. Speaking
of, like the kind of punk sensibility, I heard, an interview with Charli where she says that she really admires Olivia Rodrigo. And I think part of it is because she has this kind of punk aesthetic, but she knows what she's doing with it. She's like very intentional. And Charli, has said that she wishes she had been more kind of intentional in her early albums about like, who am I? What am I doing? And that Olivia Rodrigo has like really captured for herself, like what she's trying to do. Anyways, that's an aside.
Yeah. Jeff, what's your history with Charli?
Well, I want you guys to step back into time with me. It's Pride Month. And we're going all the way back to June of 1969, specifically June 28th of 1969. I was down the West Village in New York City having some drinks with my friends. And I knocked over my bottle of poppers and they rolled away on the ground. So I got
Wait, you're having drinks with your friends and you're having a bottle of pop. Okay, so you are a child in 1969.
No. Poppers, Gillie.
You gotta be ready for anything.
Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, continue. I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's okay. We got to clarify the details. I get it. So I get off my stool and I'm crawling around on the ground looking for my poppers, and all of a sudden I hear banging on the door. It's the police. They're there to clear out the bar. And my friend who's sitting across from me says, "I don't think so. Not today." And she picked up a brick out of her purse and she threw it at the cops. And her name was Charli XCX. Charli threw the first brick at Stonewall. Marsha P. Johnson, who? So that's how our friendship began. But actually, my introduction to Charli XCX was back in 2012 at my college. I was in charge of our big spring concert, and we were trying to book artists for that concert with no budget. one of the artists that were available through this company that we licensed with to like find us talents, just like not even a talent agency, it's more of a booking agency. They work directly with talent agencies to serve as a middleman between venues who want to hire them. And Iconopop and Charli XCX were a package deal that you could order through them. And we did try to get because that was when they had just released the I Don't Care, I Love It, yeah, that song by Iconopop that Charli XCX is featured on, but she also wrote that song. And so we tried to hire them, but they were unavailable for that day. So I don't even remember who we ended up hiring, but that was my introduction to her, was that song. Then, honestly, I kind of forgot all about her. Didn't really think much of her. I know she was featured on like Iggy Azalea's song Fancy. I think the next time I heard of her was the song Boys. I think you might have actually told me about it, Justin.
I love that song.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I just kind of fell off again. And it was like right before like the Crash era, Justin had been talking about How I'm Feeling Now and how it was a great album. And so I had listened to it and really loved the song Party For You. That's like one of my favorite Charli XCX songs ever. Still probably my favorite ballad of hers. Then I was like hooked into her and I went and saw her. I loved Crash, and I know it was like a different sound for her that a lot of people didn't like, but I really enjoyed it. And then I went to see her Crash tour twice. I saw her in Boston and then with our friend Sarah and her now husband. Then I went later that year. I think that was 2022, right? Or 2023? I can't
22.
remember.
It was 22, yeah.
And I saw her in DC with Justin and
Yes.
Brandy. Yeah, I've been a fan. She's a great live performer. The energy at her shows is incredible. Better than almost anybody I've seen aside from Beyonce.
Oh my god, I need to see the Brat tour.
Yeah,
like, I need to
go.
I need to see a Brat show.
We gotta go.
I have tickets for the Sweat tour,
Ooh,
actually, which
fun.
is a mini tour with Troye Sivan, who I actually like. So I'm like, this is gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
But I do wish that I could see the Brat tour as well. I also saw the Crash tour. I thought it was amazing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think she's coming to a city near me on the Brat tour, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hope she's going to announce more dates, because she has these dates with Troye Sivan, which is great and all. I think they're doing arenas, right? So it's like,
they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty big venues, different vibe than probably a solo tour might be.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that she does like announce some more solo dates, because it seems like there's not too many. And I mean, this album has been huge, so I think people will buy tickets.
Yeah, I think with the commercial success and the critical success that she's had with this album already, it's going to call for like an extended tour.
I hope so. I'll go see her again.
Yeah, me too. Take all my money.
Do you think she could sell arenas? Maybe not sell out, but like, do an arena tour.
I don't know. It's tough.
It is tough.
I don't have a sense. Yeah.
Famously, she's in that weird kind of in-between space, which she like talks about in almost all of her albums.
Yeah, wait, let's get into this is actually a great segue, because I think this is kind of what the album is about. It's named Brat. It is all about this archetype of like female pop star that is like the it girl, right? You've got like your golden child, like Taylor Swift types. You've got your kind of like divas, which I think Miley Cyrus is really leaning hard into right now. Although I think she's a little bit of an it girl. Charli really, I think, is very self-aware of her place in the music industry as this kind of like indie sleazy type girl, right? Like Britney Spears, like Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton in the car together type energy. You know what I'm saying?
What did they call that? Or Bimbo Summit? The Bimbo Summit.
The Bimbo Summit, yes.
So ridiculous.
Like, that is the energy that I think Charli is very aware that she kind of is in that category. She's also aware that there is a fascination that people have with that type of pop star. And she's also kind of like interrogating it a little bit in this album. I don't know. Overall thoughts for me, I was going in expecting it to be like just absolute banger after banger, like club energy album. And it is that. And it is also like a character study, right? And I think it impressed me so much, because I was just expecting, if it was just like 15 tracks of like club bangers, I would have loved the album. Favorite Charli album ever. But on top of that, it's also like this really interesting psychological study. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts.
I think that she was able to create a work that is like sonically full of energy and sonically what her fans love. Like they love her, thunderous anthemic beats, and her auto-tune vocals, which I think are so fun and unique and different than what everyone else is doing. She just really leans into it. Like, it's brash and in your face and brazen, but it's also a very lyrically introspective album. And I think that most artists would not be able to bridge those two very different spaces with this much finesse and success.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Charli kind of repeatedly brings up these motifs of the angel and the devil, and kind of like examining those two sides of her, and like, what does she want to be? Does she want to be the angel? Does she want to be the devil? And I think, the conclusion, once you get through this whole album, the conclusion is like, she's going to be both, and she's going to be both unapologetically. And I think that's one of the things that we really love about her, is like, she can be both.
Yeah, this album is like Two Things Can Be True, the album, right?
Yes.
It's like, I can be a party girl, and I can unabashedly love to fucking party, and I can also have depth, right? It's not like I'm partying and I'm hating myself all the time. This is not like a Drake album or a Weeknd album, right? It's like, I love partying. Partying has value, but I'm also like a human with like feelings and have real relationships with people as well. Yeah, it's just great.
It really is. I wonder what some of your standout tracks are, if you guys want to talk about like any that are particularly interesting to you.
Starting out, I guess on my first listen, I had immediate standouts that I was like, this is the song, like, I will die on this hill. And that's changed a lot, actually. Like, I think
really?
As I listen more and more, and as I kind of look at the lyrics a little more, I think at first I was like, club bangers, like, that's what I want. And then I start, listening to the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, she's actually saying a lot of really interesting things. And then some of the nuances in her music start to come out. The first song that I was just like, this is it, was So I, as Justin knows, and I'm a huge Sophie fan. Like, I have a poster of Sophie. We have like a little culture corner in our house, which is just like, like the fandom stuff. And there's like a Sophie poster there. I'm a huge Sophie fan. And So I is kind of about Charli dealing with the death of her friend and collaborator, Sophie. So Sophie passed away in early 2021 after an accident. And there's been quite a few songs from the PC Music people about Sophie and about like the circumstances surrounding her death, actually. But I think this song is really about, just kind of like examining their relationship and having a hard time dealing with her feelings after.
This is also a standout for me. As Gillie said, it's really raw. So like, a lot of tribute songs about somebody who's passed away are just kind of like, and this is not, people have different ways of dealing with grief and stuff, but a lot of people's tribute songs are just like, I loved this person, they were amazing, here's all the ways that they were amazing, right?
Yeah.
This song is way more nuanced, and I think like very actually brave of Charli, because she says stuff where she's like, I was intimidated by you when we worked together, and I didn't even really have as close of a relationship as maybe people assumed that we had,
right,
like in the pop media space. And she talks about how she wishes that she wasn't so insecure, wasn't so hesitant to work in a closer way with her, which is, again, it's very raw, very brave. And she also has that little bit of Charli energy, like when she's like, even now when I record songs, I think whether you would like it or not. And then she says like, yeah, I think you would probably like this one a little bit.
yeah. That's so cute.
Which is so cute and so accurate to Charli's personality. And this is like a recurring theme, I think, in the course of the album, is that Charli is not at all interested in being polite. She's not at all interested in being like PC, and not in the PC music context, but like politically correct.
Sure.
Or she's not worried about being canceled, right? She does a lot of things that I think a more cowardly pop artist or somebody who is more interested in their outward appearance absolutely would not be saying these things, right? And I think that, being a little bit offensive or being a little bit impolite is actually a great tell for when somebody is being really honest. And I think that's like a common theme of the album, and like something that makes this category of it girl really fascinating in the public sphere, right? Because it feels raw, it feels real, right? It's not filtered. So yeah, it's a great song. Uncommon take on like a tribute song, I think. Yeah,
and I really like that. I like that she wasn't afraid to just bear it all and be completely real about their relationship. Like you said, it sounds like it doesn't have the depth that a lot of people thought that it did. She like kind of I think when you read the lyrics or listen to the lyrics, like you hear that she viewed Sophie more as a mentor than a friend necessarily. Like she talks particularly about how Sophie invited her for dinner over and over again, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm good, I'm just gonna head out. Like, and now she's, of course now is like, well, I wish I'd actually kind of leaned in more and like been comfortable with having a relationship with friendship with somebody who I found to be intimidating and whom I felt like I didn't necessarily measure up to. It's kind of how Justin feels about his relationship with me, I think.
So true, Geoff.
Interesting. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. And I think that mentor kind of relationship that Charli had with Sophie, she says that she got a phone call from Sophie, after Christmas. She didn't answer it. She said this in an interview. She didn't answer the phone call because she was like, at a party or whatever. She's hanging out. She was like, oh, I don't want to deal with this right now. And then that was it. And she never got a chance to, talk to her again. But it's like, what do these people mean to you? Like your collaborators and your mentors and your friends and, who's important and when. And I can tell that she took a lot of time to put this song together and thought a lot about it. And she has, interesting references in here. And it's just a very layered song.
Yeah, and the production is great. I think it's an is it an A.G. Cook production?
Yeah, it is.
So A.G. Cook on the decks for this one. And she also does she does the classic kind of like auto-tune solo thing, pioneered maybe by like Kanye and Runaway. It's just like such a raw expression of like grief and missed opportunities. I think it's just a nice song.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I really always love her ballads. I think that she hasn't had one that was bad.
So what are some of your early standouts, I guess? Were there any others?
I have to talk about Von Dutch, which was the lead single from this album, but every time I hear that song, I want to fucking Kool-Aid Man through a wall. Like, still. Like, its song is such a banger.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I cannot express. Like, my heart rate goes up when I listen to it.
Do you listen to it when you run?
Yes. Like, it's so This
good. Is my gym song now. Yeah. Like, I have a playlist. It starts with Von Dutch, and, like, that really sets the tone for my workout.
It has that double bass kick at the first drop, which is like it sounds like a heartbeat. It's just like boom, boom. I'm just living that life. Every time, I'm getting chill just thinking about it. It's just such an absolute club banger. So quick mention of Von Dutch because it's still one of the standouts on the album for me.
That one I really can't wait to hear live. That's going to be great.
I know. Oh my God.
I've seen a video. So there's like the remix with Addison Rae, and in the remix, Addison Rae does this like blood curdling scream.
Yeah.
And from the early videos I've seen from the Brat tour, it's like the crowd just goes fucking nuts during that scream. Everyone is just screaming their heads off, and I'm like, I want to be there.
Yes.
Yep.
Like Charli is just like, what's so great about her and her concerts and our fellow fans is that they are just like totally unafraid to get feral with it. Like I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago she was at Coachella and she just screamed during her set too.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking funny and like visceral and real and like it's great. I love when they do stuff like that. So I didn't really totally, to be honest, like love that remix with Addison Rae, but that scream is like incredible and it really adds something to the song.
Yeah, so in terms of standouts listening to the album for the first time, outside of the singles, Mean Girls, which is towards the back half of the album, was, I think, my initial favorite song. So
really?
Yeah. So this one...
Say more about that.
Lyrically, it's in the same theme of, like, it's kind of a thesis statement. It's a definition of what she's talking about when it comes to, like, what is Brat? What is a Brat? What's an it girl mean? And it's kind of like... we all want to be kind of like this. I think that's part of the fascination with this category of star is that it's like we want to go out and have fun and be raw, right? You can imagine at a concert, this one goes out to all my mean girls. Everybody in the crowd's going to be like, hell yeah. I'm a mean girl, baby.
I mean, it's like about, she's saying it's okay to be like a little bit bitchy and a little bit shady, like to be a good person, but like you don't have to be, you're this like perfect version of yourself 100% of the time. And like, why even bother? Like, just, it's okay to be a little bit mean.
Yeah, don't sand off your rough edges. Like, you don't need to do that to please other people, I think,
Yeah. And I think what really is the real standout on this song is like that piano section in the back half that like absolutely rips. It's like, like the first time I heard that, I was like, wait a second, this is the same song? Like, this is amazing.
So like in I don't know, I guess it's the bridge. Like the first half of the song is kind of like very consistent with the rest of the album, very electronic focused, rave music energy. And then there's like the bridge where the kick drops, and then there's just a piano riff. And it's very like funky. Like I could imagine getting real weird on the dance floor to that. You know what I mean? It's not just like a 4 on the floor like fist pumping song. It's like you're gonna be doing some weird dance moves. And then the kick comes back in, like on top of the piano riff. This one's for all my and it's just like, I would be dancing, like each, shuffling, like you could do whatever you want on the dance floor to that song. But it's a departure musically from the rest of the album because it's very like organic sounding because of the piano.
Yep.
So yeah, I just love that song in terms of the aesthetic and the musical aspects.
Yeah, I think you said it really well. Like there's the organic synthetic kind of dichotomy there that just works so well, where you're like, we have these like synths and like this bass, and then this like really fun, funky, organic sounding piano comes in, and you're like, this is so weird together, but it works so well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Geoff, what were your standouts?
I have a couple. I mean, I think lots of people are going to say Girls So Confusing was like a standout to them, and it certainly was for me. Obviously, I'm not a woman, but I feel like this song still spoke deeply to me because I think, especially like as a gay man, I think that there's like a parallel between like how Charli's describing her feeling with like almost like she's in constant competition with other women, not necessarily of her own volition or her own creation, but that people just naturally pit them against each other. But then she is sort of like, well, I do kind of want to come out on top, and it would be okay with me if the other person failed, and I'm sure she feels the same way. So I kind of like that too, because I feel like in gay male world, that is something that I deal with all the time. Like in any kind of gay space, I feel like we're all sort of in competition with each other to be like the most effervescent, the most attractive, the best dancer, the funniest, the wittiest, That song really spoke to me in that way. I'm curious, Gillie, if like what your thoughts were about that as our resident
as our token woman on the pod.
Our token woman.
Yeah, I mean, I like when I'd heard it, I already knew it was about Lorde. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of went into it with this like, oh, it's like about them and their relationship. So I wasn't as like introspective with it, but I like the song a lot. I wouldn't say it was a standout for me, like sonically, like I didn't find it as interesting as maybe some of the other songs, but yeah, it kind of fits with this theme of like Charli, I think really wants to be, a good person and to be a feminist and to be like very accepting and open with her fans and with her friends. But then there's this like other side of her that's like, well, but like I can't be perfect and I'm not going to be. And like, we're all just going to agree that that's okay.
Well, she's being honest in the song. This is like a song that I think like a pop star who will not be named would never put out because like she would be worried about being called anti-feminist, right?
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So like it's not so much that Charli is actually being anti-feminist. It's more that she's just like not really, she's just being honest and she's not concerned about how people perceive her, right? It's raw. Yeah.
I like that about this entire album and Charli just generally as an artist. Like, I think that when artists build their pedestal out of like a deck of cards, like they're setting themselves up for failure and cancellation. And Charli's like not doing that. She's like, I'm just gonna be me and do what I do and be authentic and not try to play this game of like polite politics and like being the nice girl and being viewed as a feminist. She's like, I know I'm a feminist and that's okay. I don't have to prove it to anybody else. So I really like that she kind of like leans into just being real and authentic. I think that is like one of the themes of this whole album. That's really good.
And I think one thing that's kind of cool, like, now after the fact is like, Lorde went to one of the first Brat shows and was like dancing up in the balcony, and they had like this moment together that you can watch on YouTube.
We'll put the link in the show notes. Yeah.
They might have this, you know, they don't have a real rivalry. It's just like you said, it's like you want to support each other, you want each other to be successful, but it's also like, okay, but like how does that affect me and my, you know, stardom and my ascent? But you know, there's room for everyone out there. Right. But I mean, not for everyone.
I mean, it's addressing the fact that like you can have these insecurities and these actual feelings that are valid and real, and you can also like be friends with this person.
Yeah, and they don't make you a bad person.
Right, like two things can be true. Again, the album, right? Like
I wish more employers would like feel this way about their employees. Like we don't all have to be perfect mindless drones that have zero personality and just like do good for the company. Like we are multifaceted and interesting human beings. One of my other standouts that I really loved is the opening track 360. It like was perfect for like setting the tone of the album, of her like leaning into like, I'm gonna be a little bit bitchy and I know that I'm hot shit, and like if you don't know that, that's on you. And I kind of love that energy. I think it's a great way to, I think it's a great pop song. It's like pure pop. It's like perfect, like kind of what Charli listeners are hoping for, that she's going to deliver. And I also sonically really like the, I would say, modest production on this track, which is kind of different from a lot of her music and definitely other songs on the album. Like if you think about it, it really doesn't have a ton of production that goes into it. It's her vocals are stacked a couple of times, and she has like a harmony on like the lower third, and then just like the synth, whatever it is, I don't know, keyboard that just like is the constant refrain with the beat underneath it. Like it's pretty minimal. It's about as minimal as Charli gets, and I really like that it was still so effective and such an earworm. And the lyrics are just like, they've just been bouncing around my head, and it's like very social media friendly with like the little "I'm so Julia," like that little refrain.
Very TikTokable.
Yeah, very TikTokable, which is funny because Charli's talked about how she doesn't want to be that, but she just is so good that she is without trying.
So I remember Gillie texted me when 360 came out, and she was like, hey, what do you think of this one? And I was like, it's kind of tamer than I was expecting after Von Dutch and like B2B and Club Classics. And I still kind of think it is, although it has grown on me a lot. But I think in the context of the album and in the context of the closer, which is like a is it reprise or reprise? I don't know if I've ever said that word out loud.
I think reprise.
Okay.
I'll say reprise, just, you know, two sides of the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a reprise / remix of 360 as the closer, called 365, which it starts off having the same beat, like the same kind of relatively tame Charli beat, and then it goes absolutely batshit by the end. Like there's like fucking acid house at the end. It's like, what is happening, dude?
Yeah.
There's a great TikTok that Geoff shared with me, or it's a reel, I guess, that Geoff shared with me from one of my favorite podcasts, Tape Notes. They're doing an episode with Charli that hasn't been released as of this recording. But she kind of describes that song as being like a sequence of events when you're pre-gaming to go out, and then you're out, and then you're in the bathroom, maybe bumping something, who knows, and then you come out of the bathroom and suddenly you're a little bit too fucked up. And it's a great reel. I'll put it in the show notes. And I also really think it's interesting that 365 follows maybe the most introspective song on the album. I think about it all the time, which was I would say my second standout on first listen, because that song is so vulnerable, and I think it adds a lot of context to 365, right? Because I think about it all the time, she talks about how she has a friend who's recently had a kid, and it makes her think about having, you know, children, not in a way where she's like, I think that it was a mistake for me to do this career and have my freedom, but she's like, I wonder if it would be worth it for me to lose some of my freedom to have a child. And also another couple of other very Charli things where she's like, she kind of wants to have a kid out of just like FOMO. She's like, I want to know what it feels like.
Yeah, she's talking about how her friends know things now that she doesn't. She's like,
right.
Well, I kind of want to know that.
Yeah. She's a radiant mother and he's a beautiful father. And now they both know these things that I don't. I think about it all the time.
I mean, it's very real, right? And that's, again, another example of what we've been talking about this whole time. But then it immediately follows with this song where she's like, I'm going to do a shit ton of coke.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like Charli's
Allegedly.
like, I can do both. I can
Yeah.
be this party girl. I think I can be a mother and like want to try probably.
Mhm.
But like also we're still going to go to the club. Like we're still going to dance to me and it's going to be great.
Yes, I know.
Dance
I love
to
it.
me.
Again, it's like it's two things can be true. Like it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the dichotomous nature of this album in general. Like, I just think it's something that's so relatable to everybody. And I also love 365. I love it. I love like 360 and then 365 as bookends as well, because it reaffirmed that I found this album to be very diaristic. Charli's like famously a big, she's a big journaler. She writes a lot in her journals, musically, but also just like to write her thoughts about her days. And I really like this album because it kind of gives you a snapshot of time that I think a lot of people can relate to when they're in their late 20s for some, but I think like probably early 30s for most people our age, where they're starting to like have these big life questions that it's like, yeah, we got to finally get around to answering these. Like, what are we doing for our career? Do we like what we're doing? Are we going to change? Should we think about starting a family? And even with everything going on in the world, and like, I still feel and look pretty young. Like, I still am hot. Like, there's stuff that I still want to do and get out there and experience. And, it's like, what do I give up in order to have the other thing? And it just, like, I don't know. I liked it because it really reminded me that I think a lot of people, myself included, often think, like, my life is, like, fine, but not necessarily great. But then the more I, like, listen to Charli's album, the more I realize, like, we're all living somebody else's dream. Even if we don't necessarily think that our life is the best, like somebody else out there is thinking that we have a great life that we're living.
And I think Sympathy is a Knife is like that's kind of my like the next era for me. Like, okay, first listen, like, those kind of songs. Second listen, Sympathy is a Knife, I think really stood out to me. And it's exactly that. It's like, okay, I have this life. Like I'm kind of, and she talks about it in Might Say Something Stupid also, like, I'm famous. I have commercial success. I've been nominated for Grammys. But, like, is this everything that I want? Like, no, I want that next level, and not having it is, like, really hard. I don't know. What did you guys think about Sympathy is a Knife?
Sonically, okay, so you were talking about the lyrics. Sonically, I think it's a banger. I love the bass underneath everything is, like, really epic sounding. I don't know a better way to describe it. It's very, like, I don't know, anthemic, I guess, sounding. And then it has this great like string hit on the downbeats every time, where it's like beep beep beep, which is always like a great dance floor driver. To me, it's one of the better songs on the album. It's not like one of my like favorites, but the album is so good that even the songs that are like not my absolute favorites, I'm still like, this is an absolute bop. So yeah, I love Sympathy is a Knife too.
Geoff, what is your like number one favorite song then? Because I think Justin and I kind of discussed it ahead of time, like what our favorites were, but I feel like we didn't really nail down what's your favorite.
That's a great question that I still don't think I have a concrete answer to. I thought I did when I wrote to you guys and was like, yeah, I've got a favorite. And at the time it was So I think that was like probably my favorite song on the album, but I don't know. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, wait, but this song is like really fucking good. Like, this one's a standout, and that keeps changing. Like, I actually, one of the songs that I really like that we haven't talked about yet is So Romantic.
I love So Romantic.
Or sorry, I think it's Everything Is Romantic is the actual title. I got it wrong. I really like that song because that was a true departure. Like, it's very orchestral when it opens, which doesn't really sound like anything she's done. It kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys listened to Lady Gaga's latest album, Chromatica, but she has, her album is sort of also a concept album, and it's like designed as like a play in 3 acts. And between each act, there's like, you like can sort of envision the curtain falling while they change the scene. And there's an orchestra playing that kind of like does interludes in between the separate acts. And like when this opened, it sort of reminded me of that. What I like a lot about this song is that it really is more of a poem with that has then like it opens slowly with like an orchestra underneath it, and it's kind of just poetic. It kind of like shirks all of like the normal songwriting structures, and then
it's very impressionistic. It's just like describing things.
Yeah, it is. It very much is. I pictured, like, if I were doing the music video for this, I was thinking, like, she's on vacation with her family, having a nice time with, like, her lover. And then, like, when the beat drops, like, I would say, like, halfway through the song, that's when you, like, family part of vacation is done, you're going out with your friends or your lover afterward to hit the club, which is, like, so Charli.
Yeah, Geoff, it's so funny that you described it as a poem, because the musical part of the song is so hard. Like, this is like a hard techno song once the beat comes in. It's just like, boom, 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 boom.
It really is.
It's intense, yeah.
Everything is romantic.
I would say this is the most earwormy song for me. Like, when I'm walking around my apartment, like cleaning or cooking or whatever, like, this is the song that I'm singing. And my partner's like, what the fuck is that? Like, where is this coming from? Because there's not that many words. They don't really make sense. So it's like, what are you saying?
Yeah, maybe, okay, because you talked about the fact that this is a song, so Everything is Romantic is a song about romance, obviously. Again, love this album. Probably my favorite album of the year so far. But I do think that the weakest parts of the album are the songs that are about, like, romantic relationships. I think that those are at least the least interesting songs. So songs like Talk Talk is a great song. I think it could also have been on Crash. Like, it would fit in that aesthetic.
Yep, very much.
Relatively simplistic in terms of its subject matter. It's just like a romance song. But I think in the context of the album, it makes sense that there's not a lot of friction in these romantic songs, because she's not really concerned with that. She's like, I'm in a relationship. That's cool. Let's talk about the interesting stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also, and I'm speculating wildly here, I do not know Charli at all personally, but
what happened in 1969 though? I thought you guys were pretty close.
Yeah, I thought she started the Stonewall Riot, but
we've sort of fallen out of touch, you see. And I'd say we're kind of different people now than we were back then. So, like, you know, obviously, like, I have a parasocial relationship with Charli XCX, the artist. Don't know her personally, but, like, I would imagine that there aren't a lot of songs about friction in her relationship, because from what I conjecture based on her music, she is an internal processor and is not, like, one to, like, sit around really in a relationship that's not working for her. Like, I think that she wouldn't tolerate that.
I kind of disagree. So I think that her COVID album is all about her failing relationship, and that album is amazing. And it's like, you know, I don't know if she physically cheats on her partner, but she definitely emotionally cheats on him, and she talks about it. And
I agree with Gillie. I think that she has talked a lot about it in previous music and also in interviews. She's in interviews talked a lot about how in this current relationship with George, she feels like they're more equals in the relationship, and that leads to a less toxic relationship. Whereas in her past relationships, she has been kind of the person in power. She's been like the dominant force in the relationship, which again, very on brand for her, but it's just a more toxic dynamic.
Yeah, I think when there's any kind of like a large power divide, that it's always going to be a difficult relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic even. But I would say Charli has grown, and I don't think she would any longer tolerate that kind of a relationship. I think she's just past that point.
Right, like, and she's not concerned with it. I mean, it's when I listen to these songs on the album, I'm like, that's cute, like, good for you. But like, that's not the reason I'm listening to Brat. You know what I mean? Like,
that's not the reason the album exists. The album isn't about that.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, this is also an aside, but like the songs on Tortured Poets Department that are about like a happy, healthy relationship, like those songs suck. Like, we don't really want to hear about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get what you're saying, Justin, like that the romantic things aren't that interesting in this album, because I think that there's just not a lot there. She's just like happy in a relationship. Like, this song is like kind of celebratory, I think, and I think the song in my mind is like a celebration of the relationship that she's in with George, and that it is easy, and that the more time she spends with him and more things that they do together, the more in love with him she is.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, and again, this is all, I'm scoring on such a curve right now because these still are great songs. Like Talk,
Right.
I think is probably the most likely to become like a radio hit, for example.
Yep.
So like, and I think it probably will. It's a great song. These songs are very entertaining. They're better than like Alchemy, for example, which is I think what Gillie was referring to. The Travis Kelce song.
Yeah.
On Torture Poet's Apartment.
The one where she's like, where they're like playing video, or their friends are playing video games and they're like making out in the back or whatever.
That's So High School, which is also
So High School.
This is my
Travis
other thing
Kelce.
with her.
Yeah.
We have to grow up, Taylor girl. I get it. You grew up fast. You were famous while you were young. But come on, making out while your friends play video games? Who's doing that, by the way? If Gillie and I are sitting here playing video games and Justin and Brandy are in the back making out, I'd be like, go somewhere else.
You'd be like, stop.
Yeah, we're not doing all that. Get a room.
I'd be like, have you seen the claw? Like, what are you doing?
The callback. Never gonna.
Have you
live
seen
down
this
the
man eat?
Have you seen this? Have you seen the size of this guy's mouth?
But yeah, so Charli gave us 2 relationship songs, and I'm like, thank you. It's really nice to know you're doing well. You're happy, and like now let's get into all of the more difficult feelings that you're having.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Me too. But Justin, I wanted to go back to something that you said, which just struck me. You said that you think Talk is the most likely to become a radio hit, or has the most potential for that. Mm-hmm. You don't think 360? Because like to me, that's the most like pop palatable song that I think would do well.
There's too many references in 360 that people are just not going to get. Like Talk is like anyone can listen to it and understand generally what's going on.
It's also a more conventional pop song in today's landscape where like disco adjacent stuff is really popular. Talk is a 4 on the floor dance song. Pretty easy to digest for like the average person. The non-Charli enjoyer, I think that it would be pretty easy. Yeah. So that's why I think so.
I could see that.
I agree.
You've changed my mind. Point for you.
What do you guys think about the variant, the 3 additional tracks?
Yeah,
the bonus tracks.
So for context, it was like 2 days after the album dropped. Charli released 3 bonus tracks. I like them. I think that it ruins a little bit of the overall structure of the album we were talking about. I think about it all the time into 365 as being like the closer. For me, really works. So to add a couple more songs at the end there, I know that they're like bonus tracks, but for that reason, if I'm listening to it as an album, I prefer the original version. That being said, I'm not complaining about more Charli. So like I like the songs. My favorite of the 3 is easily Guess, which is like extremely raunchy and also featuring production from The Dare, who is this like relatively new up and coming DJ who's like huge into revitalizing the indie sleaze era. So like, which obviously, the it girl archetype is strongly correlated with, right? So I think like thematically the production is right on point. And also it's just a banger. I mean, it starts off really clean, like very clean dance record. And then at the end, there's like a huge electro drop, which is like very satisfying. It would kill in the club.
Guess.
Yeah, that's my favorite of the 3. Spring Breakers, number 2, Hello, Goodbye, I Could Take or Leave.
This is Charli's WAP, right? Like,
yeah.
I think it's really fun. It's like on brand, but it's like, let's just take this to the next level. She kind of like has interesting references, like self-references herself a lot in this song. So it's not like just like sex, like I think she has like some interesting thoughts, but I love Spring Breakers. I think Spring Breakers, like it could have been on the album. It could have been great. It's fine that it's a bonus track, but I just think I think it references Vroom Vroom a lot, both sonically and lyrically, but she also has this Britney Spears sample in it that is just so funny to me.
Where is
like
it? I don't think I knew
it's
that.
It's like every time and then it goes back into like the Spring Breakers thing.
Got it.
Gonna go Spring Breakers. Every time I make it so outrageous, always gonna listen to people play.
It's so good. It reminds me a lot of Vroom Vroom because it's a little bit scary. Like there's those screeches in the background during the drop which are just like very ravey, a little bit scary. It's gonna go fucking off live. Like that song is gonna be a huge live song. Yeah.
And it's also like this, the angel and the devil. She's saying like in the lyrics, like, I'm gonna fuck you up, like we're gonna go off, and then she's like, the Britney Spears, like, it's just so funny, and I agree. I can't wait to hear this one live.
I have to listen to it again because I don't think I even recognize the Britney Spears sample, but I love that. But yeah, I do like that song. Spring Breakers is really great. This should be like a soundtrack or like a trailer, in a trailer for like a fun like movie aimed towards like the younger crowd about like a wild day out or something like that.
Well, it's obviously referencing the film Spring Breakers, right? Like that's what it's, the Selena Gomez, Vanessa Hudgens film with James Franco.
Great movie to watch once and then never again. There's just so many.
Jeff,
you have to. You have to. There are so many pop culture references that I see out in the world, like, about this movie. And
really?
And yes.
It's a batshit movie. It was like
it's so funny.
I've never seen it.
It was a Disney Girls Gone Bad movie, basically. So it was like all of these ex-Disney stars that went out, and it's just a movie about them getting like completely fucked up and doing crazy shit. So yeah.
And James Franco is in it as this like weird, like Miami gangster kind of dirtbag. But I don't know what he's basing his character on, but there's...
James Franco must be a dirtbag, right? Because that's like kind of all that he plays.
He kind of is. No, but this is like a specific riffraff, I think, is the touch point, the cultural touch point. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy, but yeah.
I don't know if you have seen this, though. He has this line where he goes, "Sprang, brag." Like, no, it's really weird. I hear that like out in the world. Like, I swear to God, like I hear people saying spring break like that. I mean, I say it too. So it's like, it's out there. If you hear someone saying it, it might be me.
It's also like was one of the first big A24 films, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, if it's A24, I'm definitely going to watch it then.
Yeah.
It's a terrible movie, but it's just so...
It's insane.
Like, now it's just like it's like a cult classic.
Yeah.
So you got to watch it.
All right, we should probably wrap up the Brat discussion, as much as I could talk about it for another hour. Anything that y'all want to touch on really quick before we close?
Can we just agree that Apple is the weakest song?
Wait, tell me more about this. Because I agree, but I just want to know why you think so.
I have feelings about this too. I agree as well.
Sonically, it's kind of boring. Like, it's a little bit slower, but also then, like, lyrically... it doesn't get really deep. Like, it's about her relationship with her parents. And it's like, okay, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's like, you go home and you see your parents and you see yourself reflected in them or whatever, vice versa. And then she runs away. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, I don't think this is like a particularly unique perspective or a deep thought. It's not unique to her. And I think sonically it's not that interesting. So that's why, for me, it's the weakest.
So I wasn't impressed. I like didn't even go deep into analyzing the lyrics. I was just like, I don't really know what she's talking about here. And then sonically, so importantly, this is one of the 2 songs on the album that is produced by George Daniel. The first one is Club Classics, which I think is a banger. Excellent production work there.
We need to have a banger count.
Yeah, number of times I've said banger.
There's a lot of bangers here. Yeah.
But Apple sounds like it's a rejected B-side from a 1975 record. Like, that's the sound that the production has. It's way more like poppy and upbeat, like pejorative. You know what I mean? Like, not scary like Charli's stuff. Yeah. Upbeat derogatory. It's not as like it doesn't have that air of danger like a lot of Charli's music does. So I think that's what kind of turned me off from it. It might make a great 1975 song, but it's just, it doesn't, I don't think it sounds like it belongs on this album.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about it like that at all, but it's kind of a good point. It's like Charli has such a specific sound now that she's, made for herself. And if something doesn't fit, we're just like, not for me. Like, this could be a great song on another album, but like here, it just doesn't work. Like, I think she should have put Spring Breakers there instead of Apple, personally.
The last thing that I'll say about the album is the album artwork, which is immediately iconic. It's one of the most iconic album covers of like the last 10 years, and I stand by that.
Yep.
And it fits thematically with the rest of the album, where she's just clearly unconcerned, right? She's like, I'm not trying to make something that looks like it's art. I'm just going to put fucking Brat on on like the best green I can come up with. It's a little bit of an aggressive green, right? It's like if you saw somebody wearing a shirt this color, you'd be like, that's a lot.
Yep.
I'm 100% going to wear head to toe, like green wig, green mini dress, whatever, like green tights when I go to see, the Brat. Well, I'm going to the Sweat tour, so maybe I'll have to rethink that a little bit. But like, it is iconic. And I think we're going to see a lot of this color. Like last year was like Barbie pink. Like this year, it's going to be this Brat green.
Yeah. And it's just like Charli. It's a little bit abrasive. And it also links with the song we actually didn't talk about, which is Rewind, where it harkens back to like the MySpace era of people just kind of putting shitty album art on their MySpace music, And
you take like the tiny little picture, so it's like a little pixelated.
Yes, it's
like,
pixelated.
It's so good.
It's like a low quality album cover. And I saw an artist, one of my previous What's Goods, Chet Porter, he tweeted about the album cover, and he said, I literally tried to put a low quality JPEG for my album cover, and Spotify and Apple Music both rejected it. Like the mainstream music culture like doesn't allow for this level of like rawness, right? So it fits thematically with the album too. It's just so good.
Yeah, and I love that Charli put out, like alternative covers for all of her existing albums. Mm-hmm. And not only does it populate on like YouTube, Spotify, whatever, but if you go to the Wikipedia for each album, they've updated them with alternative album covers, and they're like that low res. Yes, when I saw that, I burst out laughing. I was like, "This is so."
It's pretty cool.
Like,
she's really iconic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've closed our BANTS discussion, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with What's Good.
We'll be back.
See you then. And we're back.
Well, we had such a great discussion about Brat, and I'm so glad that you're here to join us, Gillie. Really appreciate you making the time to be on the pod. One of our wonderful listeners, dear. But now's the time of the pod where I've got to ask you a little question, Justin. Justin.
Yes.
What's good?
Geoff, I have a real banger to share with you today.
Add that to the count.
Add it to the count. Add it to the
I think we're
many
at
bangers.
least at 7 now. Maybe 8.
Yeah. I saw a film last week. It's called I Saw the TV Glow. It's from a director named Jane Schonbrun, I think is how you pronounce their name. So this is a film that, it's an A24 film, had a very like pretty trailer that didn't give away a lot of plot. And I was like, I'll see this. It might be good. And the general plot of this movie is that there are two friends who meet in high school. And they bond over this fictional TV show called The Pink Opaque, which is like very Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like 90% Buffy, 10% Twin Peaks.
Okay.
They bond over it, and then there's a falling out. One of the friends goes missing for a long period of time while the other one stays in their hometown. And things progress from there. I don't want to give too much away. I think that there was a feeling that this film conveyed that I didn't have a word for at first. I was trying to describe it to people after I watched it. It's like the feeling of when the reality that you are existing in and you're experiencing is not the same as the reality that you know to be true, like internally. And then when I read a little bit of criticism about the film, I learned what the word is. It's derealization, which is like a common dissociative thing that happens, especially in trans people, right? Where they are aware of like their identity, their gender internally, but their reality doesn't reflect that, right? And the director of this film is a trans person. So I think that it really does an excellent job of getting across like the trans experience in a way that is like universally understandable by everybody, right? That's not like its intent. It's not trying to like mainstream the trans experience, right? I think it's a deeply trans film, but it made me feel that kind of like existential horror. And it's a great film. Yeah, it's aesthetically gorgeous. It has some of the most like weird, Lynchian, disturbing stuff I've seen in a movie this year, or like in the last few years. So if you're not a little scared of like a little bit weird movie and a little bit of kind of like existential horror type stuff, then I would highly recommend this movie. I Saw the TV Glow. Go watch it.
It's definitely on my list. Yeah. Is the soundtrack by someone famous also?
So that's a great point that I should have brought up. So the original score is composed by Alex G. And in addition to the original score, there's a soundtrack that features a lot of artists, including like Caroline Polachek. It has Sloppy Jane, which is Phoebe Bridgers' band. It has King Woman. So a really great original soundtrack and score. So even if you don't watch the movie, go listen to the soundtrack because it's a banger. Lots of like shoegazy type stuff. There's like a metal song in there. Yeah, it's really great.
Oh, that sounds cool. Definitely.
That does sound cool.
So Geoff,
yeah,
I hope you enjoyed the long preamble from last week. We're not going to do that again. What's good with you?
Wow. Okay. We're just like waning with effort here. Okay. I mean, it is at a certain point going to be just like diminished returns, but I'm still enjoying it.
Okay.
Doing it for you.
I'll note that. Noted.
Okay. What's good is Chappell Roan. I've been listening to her for a couple months now.
Geoff, you and everybody. What is it? Like, I feel like every single one of my friends just got into Chappell Roan like last couple months. What's going on with that?
Well, my introduction to her was, third time we're mentioning it, Las Culturistas. Matt Rogers was like, everyone needs to listen to Chappell Roan. And he has great taste. So I was like, I trust Matt Rogers. I'm going to also listen to Chappell Roan. And I did. And I said, this woman is incredible. She has a very cool Elizabethan / drag kind of aesthetic. She reminds me very much of like, I kind of want to say a cross between like Katy Perry and Lady Gaga in her performance sensibility. It's very campy, but it also kind of like borders on performance art, some of the choices that she makes aesthetically, which I really, I always like that. But her rise was like, she's rocketing up the charts right now. Her album that she put out in 2023, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, is like really rising on the charts, even though it's been out. I think it came out in like September of 2023.
Yep.
But it's now just getting all the praise and ears that it deserves. It's a really excellent album. It's one of those albums for me that's like no skips, start to finish. It's that good. And she was opening for Olivia Rodrigo on her Guts World Tour in the US and Canada. And she started the tour in February of 2024, but she's gotten so much attention and was just like becoming that huge that she actually left the tour early so that she could go to do festivals like Gov Ball and Coachella and Boston Calling as well. I'm sure there's others, but I know for sure she did those 3 shows because the crowds at those shows for her performances, some of them were larger than the headliners. Like, she outperformed in terms of crowd size for Ed Sheeran, who was the headliner at Boston Calling.
Sorry, no offense to Ed Sheeran.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Chappell Roan deserves the crowd, but also like who was booking Ed Sheeran as headliner of a festival in 2024?
I mean, yes, it's not for me. It's very Boston energy. I'll say that. That's all the shit that I will do on Boston for today. But yeah, I mean, she's just incredible. And I think that people are really starting to, I mean, like, her rise to fame right now reminds me of Lady Gaga in 2008. Like, I saw Lady Gaga in one of her early performances. I was going to school at the new school, and I lived on Union Square West, and the Virgin Megastore was still a thing that existed. That's how long ago this was. And she performed in the store because she was signed to Virgin Records, and they were like doing just like a quick like promo kind of concert. And it was fucking weird. It was a small show. There was like maybe 1,000 people crammed in there, and we all got free tickets because we like were just walking outside back from Trader Joe's, and people outside the store were like, hey, come see this concert later. So like we went, and I was like, oh man, this woman is going to be huge. And that energy that she had of just like, she knew who she was, she knew what her aesthetic was like, and was a good singer and had great production and great music, very much reminds me of Chappell Roan. So I'm glad to see that she's doing well for herself.
Yeah.
So I would say this is the summer of the Brat, but it's also the summer of Chappell Roan.
Geoff, that's such a great pull to compare her to early Gaga, because I feel the exact same way. Like, I think that, like early Gaga, the actual music that she's putting out right now isn't that like provocative. It has a lot of the same flavors as like Olivia Rodrigo. The producer on the album is Dan Negro, who is again a frequent collaborator of Olivia Rodrigo's. So there's like a lot of similarities. There's a lot of gang vocals, etc. But when you see her perform, like when I saw her coming out at Gov Ball in the Statue of Liberty costume, I was like, if I was there, I would have gone absolutely batshit. And I like don't even like her music that much. You know what I mean? Like,
listeners who have not seen it, Chappell Roan did come out to the Gov Ball. She was rolled onto the stage in a smoking apple-shaped bong. And then the bong turned around and revealed that she was wearing full body paint and a wig the same color as the Statue of Liberty, that like patinaed copper color. And she performed the entire set in that getup, and it was truly iconic. A wonderful nod to Gov Ball.
She was also smoking like a comedically large joint.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, and it's clear that she has a lot going on. Like, she has a lot of ideas and creativity. So I'm super excited now that she has this exposure. Like, what is she going to do in her next album? You know?
Yeah, we've got to do a whole episode on Chappell Roan soon.
Yeah, we should.
I think she's.
I think what's interesting about Chappell, and I think this is also true of Lady Gaga when she was first starting out, is like, she's so unique that it's kind of hard to compare her to anyone. Like, and it's like not that like it's not that any one thing about her is so unique, but it's like the package that she puts together. It's like there's no one else doing quite what she's doing right now. But also it's like, where does she go from here? Like, this is so interesting, so big and so interesting that it's like, yeah, like, you know, does she kind of continue doing the same thing and then everyone kind of, you know, gets tired of it? Or is she going to, you know, reinvent herself, you know, not like drastically, but like reinvent her sound or, you know, adjust to, you know, give us something a little bit new and different each time? I think she'll be a really interesting artist to watch.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think her artistry is what's the most compelling part of her right now. Like I said, I think the music is great. She's an excellent singer. Like, she can belt. And like our friend Anna said, you know, in a generation of whisper singers, she really is a huge standout to me. And I was like, that is true. And our friend Anna, I think you've met her, Gillie, is a professional musician, a vocalist, a soprano. And she was like, yeah, I mean, in terms of like everybody, all of her like peers, her contemporaries, like she's really going back to a form of singing that we have not seen and has not been popular and radio friendly for the last like decade, really. So I'm excited about that. And I think similarly to Gaga and Madonna and other artists who had like an absolute like rocket start to their career, she's going to reinvent herself. So I did listen to some of her earlier work. I think she produced an EP that came out in 2020. She was actually label mates with Charli for a while, but the label was not like thrilled with her performance, monetarily. So they dropped her. But she had music that sounded very different. It was almost more like Lana Del Rey sounding before she got, hooked up with this guy, Dan Nigro, who is Olivia Rodrigo's producer.
I said Dan Negro.
You did. I
bad?
refrained. I refrained from making a funny joke.
So it's Nigro. Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
I was gonna say, what did you call me?
Unintentional listeners.
But yeah, it was very different sounding. So I'm excited because I think you're right. Like, if she couldn't really do the same thing again, like she has to kind of reinvent herself and change, so that she's not like constantly compared to her debut.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to top, but I think, the next album should be really cool.
Yeah. Well, Gillie, you're our first guest on the pod. And we do a little something, because you've been listening. Shut up, Justin. This is what Justin does the entire time I'm talking. He just like holds his head in his hand and looks away from the camera. Secondhand.
He's like, this is gonna be such a pain to edit. Like, oh god.
No, I usually leave in the long intro for the what's good, because now it's a bit. But go on, Geoff.
It is a bit. Okay. So you've heard what we had to say. And now, Gillie, I'm going to pose a question to you. Gillie, what's good?
Well, thank you so much for asking. I had a different what's good that I wanted to share. And I'll actually share what that is anyways, just so that you know like why I switched my what's good.
Okay.
So original what's good was Willow's Tiny Desk concert. I love it. Willow is a famous Nepo baby, daughter of Will and Jada, whatever, Smith, Pinkett. I don't know what all the names are, but she has this really cool new jazz album, I would say. And her live performance of that is so interesting
Wow.
and just like really fun. But I kind of wanted to share a different artist because like we've all heard of Willow. So I wanted to share someone else that I've been listening to a lot before Brat came out. Brat has taken up all of my mental energy recently. And that's Rachel Chinariri. She has a debut album called What a Devastating Turn. And she's actually another British kind of pop singer. And to me, the sound and attitude is very reminiscent of like Lily Allen back in the day. It's like she's got also kind of bratty songs. It's like, you know, very pop, but there's some like punk sensibilities, but she's also kind of a singer-songwriter. And one of the catchiest songs on her album is Never Need Me.
You just take it easy. I hope that you never need me. Make it on the grind, no sticking around. But how can I swim if you're pulling me down? Just promise you
Which I sent to Justin like the moment I heard it and saw the video because I was like, this is awesome. So the music video, it stars Rachel and Florence Pugh actually, and they're dressed in these like really fun early 2000s, you know, kind of fashion and hairdos. And they, you know, it's about like, you know, like a cheating boyfriend or something. They like throw a cake in his face. It's like really fun. But that song was just like, it's such an earworm. It was stuck in my head, you know, from the moment I heard it. And I think the rest of her album is just really fun and interesting. She has like a song called Dumb Bitch Juice that's so funny. And she has like a couple other just like really funny songs.
My drag name.
And I think she's just going to be, I hope she becomes like such a star. Like, I think she's awesome.
I remember liking this song when you sent it to me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pop. It's fun, but it's like, I don't know. It's like a different perspective. And it's like really cheeky, which I like.
I am so interested in her. I mean, the title of the album alone, What a Devastating Turn of Events, is amazing, but also that you said that she reminds you of Lily Allen, because I fucking loved Lily Allen back in the day. The record that she put out with Smile on it was so great in the music video. It's like such an iconic tune and video, and so I'm really excited to listen to this now. Yeah,
I mean, Lily Allen was kind of like, you know, an early Brat, I would say. Like, her music was very bratty.
Yeah,
absolutely was. It definitely has that ethos.
Yeah. So, yeah, listen to it, and hopefully she blows up and has, you know, more good music also.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Gillie.
Thank you, Gillie, so much for joining us on this excellent episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here and to be the first guest. Do you have any other guests lined up?
We don't at the moment, but we definitely are tossing around ideas of like what friends we think would like work well for this, and possibly some people who aren't necessarily friends but are in the cultural zeitgeist.
That's right. We'll see.
Interesting. Okay. Like frenemies or like
no, like people who
they're my lord.
Friends of friends who, you know, have platforms, maybe have other podcasts. We can maybe do a collab type situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So watch the space, listeners, dear.
Yeah, we'll see. No promises at this point, but we are on it.
Amazing. Well, I love the podcast. I think it's really fun. I like both of you guys. I still think Justin is one of the coolest people I know. So well, I'm sorry, Geoff.
Despite the claw.
Despite the claw. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Can you have like an album or whatever, like the cover? Like we should have like a claw picture.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I will make.
It's like the Brat claw.
I will make some promotional art that includes the claw.
Jesus Christ.
Brilliant.
I'm so thrilled that you shared the story with me. I'm going to add it to my arsenal against him.
But the best part is, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I really did.
You've
as soon as you
claw.
said it, and then I was just waiting for you to open your mouth and mimic him.
Anybody who's ever watched me eat popcorn knows about this. All right, this has been an episode of BANTS. Bye.
Bye.
This has been BANTS with Geoff and Justin. BANTS is produced by Geoff Taylor and Justin Benavidez. Graphic design by Geoff Taylor. Editing by Justin Benavidez. The theme music for BANTS is the track Time With You by Tolif featuring Rule, that's spelled R-V-L-E, and is provided by No Copyright Sounds. Email us at bantspod@gmail.com with any questions, recommendations, or just to say hi. If you like the podcast, rate and review us on Apple or Spotify, and tell your friends. See ya!